everybody, welcome to Bones Collector. Today on Bones Collector we're continuing our series where Lori and I are playing our way through our board gaming library. So we're going to play a couple of games, 2 or 3 games each week, and make a video about it and pass it on to you, and I hope you enjoy them. Hey everybody, welcome to Bones Collector. Lori and I we just finished playing Caesar's Empire. Caesar's Empire is a 2022 title. It was designed by Matthew Potvin. I don't know which would be the correct pronunciation. The art is by Alexander Bonvalot and Joel Drans. And I say that because the art's really cool in this game. I thought it was well done. The cover of the box is really cool, and it has sort of a cartoonish, ancient type of theme to it. So I really enjoyed that, the artwork on it. Let's talk about the publishing job they did on this. It has a nice game box. I really like that. You know how I always complain about that when the game box isn't very nice. This has got a nice sturdy box, and it's got a really cool looking picture on the inside, and that's pretty neat. I mean, you know, what the heck. This is by Holy Grail Games, and Holy Grail Games is out of business, and so we got this game on Prime Days for $26 or $27. Something like that, yeah. It was marked down quite a ways, and I've been watching it because I was very curious about it. I love games like this, and ones that I want to mention are, you know, Babylonia and Blue Lagoon. It's 2 that pop into my head, where you have a route building thing you're doing on the board. So I really was interested in this, and when it was there cheap, because we buy everything, you guys. You know, we buy our own games, and nobody gives me anything, and so I have to look for a good deal when I'm out looking for games. And so we watched Prime Days, and this is the only one that they had reduced that interested us. Caesar's Empire came out in 2022. It's a 2 to 5 player game, route building and set collection, and the winning condition is most points. It has a scoring track that goes around this gorgeous board, and these little kind of miniatures you see here are like marching soldiers, and that's Caesar's Empire, of course, and you're building a route with those guys here on the board. Let's see, is that all I want to say about the publishing job? Yeah, the little miniatures, you get 5 different colors. The player boards are not paper, they're thick cardboard, which is pretty cool. So, and the city tiles are pretty nice, and they're 2-sided, and I'll show you why that is. And that's really all there is to this game. There's not a lot of components, or not a lot of things to set up. This game sets up very quickly, and it plays 2-player in 30 minutes. I imagine if you have 3 or 4, it might take a little longer, 45 minutes or so, but it plays very quickly, and that's something Lori and I like if the game is good. And this game, spoiler alert, is very good. This is a really fun route builder, and the reason why it's good is you're trying to do a set collection thing on your player board as you're marching through the empire here. You're putting out your guys and trying to build a route back to Rome, and you're going to score points based on the shortest route back to Rome whenever you place some of these guys on the board. And sometimes it's going to include your opponents. That route is going to have other players' armies in it, and so you're going to have to give them the points they're due because the shortest route contains some of their guys. This board will be populated with these city tiles, and each one of them has 2 sides, and it has a Roman numeral value on the front and a circle, and on the back is just the number value. So the Roman numeral value, you know, because this is ancient Rome, is 6, but when you turn it over, it's just got the
makes scoring easier.
Yeah, when you're scoring it to the game. But the circle on the front is where you place these treasure tokens that you're going to put on your board right here. And it's a set collection thing like I talked about. And as you're marching around the empire here, you are trying to collect coins that go on this bottom row, and depending on where you cover up those coin spots is how many points you're going to get. It goes all the way up to 64 points, which in a 2-player game is impossible because there's not that many coins. Yeah. So I mean, it adjusts for player count, which is very nice.
And it's got 2 boards.
Yeah, which is very nice. Yeah. If it's a higher player count, you flip this board over and it has more cities to deal with. But this is a 2 to 3 player side.
Yes.
2 to 3 player side, and that's the one we played on. Again, gorgeous board, nice thick board. I mean, this is well done. And then the other treasure tokens you're going to put in rows, a row this way, different treasures have to go in this bottom row. So you're going to have different icons on each one of these treasures depending on how far you get, and it has a point value, and that's how many points you're going to get. So if you put them in columns, then it goes 0, 2, 10, 20, which you're never going to get 20 because there's not that many. What's up, Goofy? Yeah. She doesn't like soldiers. So anyways, yeah. So it's a set collection thing, and it's so interesting the decisions that you have to make in this game, because you're going to want to score as many points as you can for the route that you're going to, when you're placing your guys on the board, and you want to think about what tokens you want to add to your player board. I mean, if you are on 16, it goes from 16 to 25. If you get that next coin from 16 points to 25. But do you want that? If you want to go get that coin, maybe your opponent is going to get the last one of a certain color of city tile, which allows them to add all their city tiles together rather than just taking the highest one. Normally at the end game scoring, you're going to take each city tile of the same color, and you take the highest one in that color, and that's going to be your point total for that particular color. But if you got them all, you get to add them all together, and that's a huge bonus. And if you have the most soldiers left over at the end of the game, you get a bonus of 10 points. So you're trying to use as few people as possible as you're building these routes, and some of the routes call for 2. So that's the rub. I mean, how bad do I want that token? Do I want to place 2 of my guys, spend 2 guys to do that? Or do I want to look for another way to score points? And the decisions are interesting, aren't they?
Oh, yeah.
It was very well done, this game. A nice design by Matthew Potovin. I've never played any of his other games, but I'm definitely aware of him now. And I tell you guys, good board game designers, if you find something you like by them, keep an eye on him. And he's got a game coming out, it's on crowdfunding.
And Holy Grail's out of business, so they may not fulfill that game.
They may not be able to fulfill a game that they took money for. I don't know to what extent the people are going to lose their money, if they're not going to get their money back or what. But it's why I tell you guys, stay off of crowdfunding. Don't let Rahdo or anybody else talk you into getting on crowdfunding. Don't do it. It's a good way to lose your dough.
I mean, Holy Grail was in business for 7 years.
Yeah.
It wasn't like they were a fly-by-night company.
You never know what's going to happen. There are so many good games out there, you don't have to crowdfund. You are not going to miss out on anything. Take it from an old man that's lived quite a few years. You're not missing out on anything. Don't do it. Anyways, back to this game. This game is fabulous if you can get your hands on a copy. Again, the rule set is so simple, but the
rule book's a pamphlet.
I mean, it's just like a pamphlet, the rule book, and but the decisions you get to make are very interesting. And Lori and I had a fun time playing it, and yeah, I mean, it's very small. It's like a pamphlet there. Yeah,
it's mostly pictures.
Yeah, and that's the kind of rule book I like if the game is good. It's hard for a designer to make a game with a small rule set that has interesting decisions in it. And that is very difficult to do. People will look at this game and say, oh, it's light. Yeah, it is, but it's fun, and because the mechanics of the game offer interesting decisions that you have to make. Hard ones. Do I want to do this or do I want to do that? Even though the game and the rules are simple. That's the kind of a game that we really, really like. And if you're a person that likes to play Vital Lacerda games, nothing but, huge Euros like that, maybe you won't like this. But for people like us who want to play a game in 30 to 45 minutes and have it be fun and interesting and the decisions to be hard to make, Caesar's Empire offers that to you. And that's it. I mean, that's all I have to say about this game. I'm glad I got it. It's going to go into my top 10 for 2022. Another list I have to revise because I've played some games that bumped some other games out. This is the one game that had to get put in the top 10 of 2022 because this is the kind of game that makes gamers out of people who aren't gamers. And I love that.
I can't wait to play this at 5 with family.
Yeah, I mean, it plays well at 2, but it's going to be a little more interesting at 3 and 4. I don't know if I'd play it at 5, but 3 and 4 are probably pretty nice. probably a sweet spot maybe at 3, I don't know. But at 2 it was very interesting and fun, and you
No, it
can
was.
feel the potential of this game to open up with one more player, even 2 more players. But it's absolutely fabulous. I can highly recommend this game to you guys. I've been keeping my eye on it. I just didn't want to pay a bunch of money for it.
Well,
So
it was
I
like
had to,
$50.
yeah, I'd wait for it to go on sale. Hey, but the publishing job is amazing. I mean, it's, you know, you have to kind of ask yourself how much you want to pay for something like this, especially since I hadn't played it. And I don't like taking chances. That's why I stay off crowdfunding. That's why I don't buy games that I haven't played for the most part. Try
not to spend a lot of money on them anyway.
Yeah, I took a chance on this one and it paid off. That is Caesar's Empire. Again, it's definitely in my top 10 for 2022. It's just the type of game that Lori and I love to play. If you like games like Babylonia and Blue Lagoon, oh, there's got to be more than that. Let me think.
Yeah, I'm sure there are.
Route building games. I mean, even, what's the one we just got done playing, the old game that we really liked? It's an old Euro game. U.S. Telegraph, which is Attica. You know, you're route building in that. I mean, I love doing those route building games that have interesting decisions to make. Man, they're hard. And in this game, you'll come across some because you're trying to maximize your scoring. And so the way you're placing those tokens or getting those tokens on the board, I mean, you're trying to gather certain ones. Oh, I want to go over there, but if I put my army guy there, my opponent's going to get 8 points. I'm going to get 2, even though I need that token. Ouch! Do I want to do it? Yeah! I mean, that's the way the decisions are in this game. But yeah, that's Caesar's Empire. See you later. Hey, make sure you like and subscribe. We love every one of you guys. No chewing. We love every one of you guys, and we love telling you about games like Caesar's Empire. And keep on board gaming. It's the best hobby on the planet. And I'll see you the next time on The Bones Collector. Bye-bye. Hey everybody, welcome to Bones Collector. Today, Laura and I just got done playing Vivid Memories. Vivid Memories is a game that came out in 2022. I didn't write that down, but I think it did. 2022, and the designers are Matthew Dunstan and Brett Gilbert, who did Chocolate Factory that we love, and they also did Elysium that we really liked. Had a little bit of take that in it, so we didn't keep that game, but Elysium was a great design. And they've done other games. I mean, these guys are pretty good at what they do. So let's talk a little bit about the physical production of this game. It's got a really nice box, and inside the box is a insert that holds everything in place very nicely, and then everything in this game is well done. I mean, these are dual layer player boards, which are necessary because you're using these little acrylic fragments, and you don't want them to get bumped. So they're dual layer player boards that you're going to you in the game. And you have a scoreboard that comes with it, some cardboard tokens for action tracking, which you probably need. I mean, I used mine at one point during the game. You have these moment tiles that are very thick, and the art on them is very pretty. This is the crowdfunding edition. It was the Kickstarter, or I don't know if it was Kickstarter or GameFound or whatever. It was crowdfunded, which I tell you not to do, and we didn't. We didn't crowdfund this game. We picked this up at Dice Tower East, and we got it for $15. And I like the designers. When I saw this come up on the virtual flea market, I looked at the names of who did this game. That was Dunstan and Gilbert, and I liked some of their games already. And I always tell you guys, whoever does those really great games, you want to check out their other games. And I had never played it before, and I don't like doing that. But again, I had a little bit of faith in the designers, so I went ahead and picked that up. And then you get this beautifully stitched Vivid Memories draw bag that you use during the game. It came with a nice neoprene mat, all these beautiful acrylic pieces that you're going to use to create your memory threads on your player board. Fragments. Lori corrected me. So fragments. It has a nice like linen rule book that's very clear. Unfortunately, it's a very clear book.
We hoped we read it wrong, but we did not.
Yeah. And you have player aids that come with the game that are very good, and you'll need them to refer to. And is that everything? I think it's everything that comes with the game. And let me tell you about this game. Ouch! I mean, wow! I did not expect Vivid Memories, the board game, to hurt my brain like this did. This was a gut punch, man. I'm telling you, it doesn't take long to play, but you are going to think really hard in this game because you win this game by scoring the most points. So you have to understand everything that you can do to score. When you start out the round in a 2-player game, you have 4 of these moment tiles up here in the moment line, and you're going to populate those with 4 of tokens, and you draw them randomly out of here. You know, and it's going to be 4 tiles on each one of these. And it changes for player count. And I'm talking about a 2-player game, which is what Lori and I play. So we make sure that this plays well at 2, and you put 4 of these acrylic tiles on each one of these to start the game. And then when you're selecting these fragments, these memory fragments from these tiles, you have to take them from the ends of the moment line. And you do that by selecting 1, 2, or 3 of these tiles. If you select 1 of the acrylic tiles, any color from either end, 1, you get to do a rewire. Thank you. You get to do a rewire action, which is so important in this game. And rewire action lets you move around some of these fragments that are already on your board. And that's vital to what you're going to try to do in this game, because I'm going to tell you right now, this game is so strict. It's very difficult to make the things happen here. So that's the only time you get to move those around, is if you select just 1 acrylic tile from the moment line. Now if you select 2, they have to be the same color. It has to be from either end. If you select 2, they have to be the same color. If you select 3, they have to all be different colors. Okay? But the only one that lets you move things around is if you only select 1. So you have to think about how many you want to select when you're taking your turn, because you might want to move some stuff around on your board. And there's specific rules to do that. And I'm not going to tell you everything about the game, but there's specific rules of how those things move, and it's very strict. Yeah, I mean, you can move tiles from 1 hex to any adjacent hexes, and you can move tiles from adjacent hexes into 1 hex. So that's just a brief description of how that works. And it sounds confusing, I'm sure, but it's not. I mean, once you figure out how this game works, it's pretty easy to understand and how strict it is, because whenever you select these memory fragments from this moment line, you have to put them on your player board in an empty hex on the board. You can't add them to things that are already on your board. They have to go in an empty hex. So when you're selecting 1 of these tiles and you get to do the rewire, you might want to empty some hexes so you have room to do things where you're working. So that's what's so strict about this game, is anytime you add, and each one of these moment tiles that you see up in this moment line, when it gets emptied, whoever empties takes the last acrylic tile off that is going to take that moment tile and put it above their player board. And then in another phase of the game, they're going to put it on their player board in these slots with the action side up. There's the action side and the scoring side. You're going to put it on these slots on your action side up, and you're going to be able to take that action when it becomes that particular phase of the game. If you don't have these on your player board, there's actions in each one of these slots anyways. So you're covering up something to put action scoring tiles on your player board. And once you empty them and you put them up above your board, when that phase comes, you need to take that and you're going to cover up an action that you might want to take. So that hurts. That decision hurts to do that.
It's your memory bank or your moment tile.
Oh,
it's the tops. It's
your memory bank. So you have 4 different actions in your memory bank. And when you take one of these tiles, you're going to cover those up in the next phase of the game. And when you cover those up, of course, you're going to take the action that's on the tile, not the one that's on the board. Okay, leave those alone, biscuits. All right. And then once you place that, and if you complete that action, you take that action and you flip it over to the scoring side and it stays there. And then, the honey okay.
I'll get her.
No, she's going to lay down. She's going to lay down in the box. She's fine.
Okay.
Okay, so then you flip it over to the scoring side, and the scoring side will have a pattern that you have to complete on your player board with these fragment tiles in order to score that. And it doesn't come off your board until you do that. You have to score this to remove it and get that memory action back on your player board. So that's, I mean to tell you, this game is so juicy. And then on your player board also, and I'll show you how it works, you want to complete these threads from you can see on the outside of the board it has numbers 18, 1, 4, 4, 18, 1, 18, 4, and when you complete a thread of the same color, and you're going to count how many hexes you have that color in, then you're going to take one of those acrylic tiles and put it in, like in this case, there's a purple, a red, and a yellow, and you're going to take that tile and put it in this 18 slot, and you'll take wherever it came down here. It's got to be red. Red has to run from the top to the bottom or from the side to the bottom or wherever, but you have to connect them by colors. You would put a red one in this slot too. Now when you put a red one in this slot, you can see it only has one space, so you get 1 point. Up here you would put a red one in there and you get nothing until you put a yellow and a purple in those two spaces adjacent to it. Then you would get the 18 points. And that's a huge scoring opportunity. So you're trying to make those threads work so that you can score those points around the outside of the board. And then also you score for how many hexes were in that thread. And you score, I'm going to see if I can show you this. In this particular instance on my board, hopefully I can show you this, I had a thread, well I had to, let me see, what it looked like was, oh shoot, I'll take it like that. Yeah, what it looked like was this. So I had my yellow one on the bottom. Hopefully I can show you that. But I had my thread running from here to here. So you count how many hexes have yellow. So you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Even though this goes off into the side. Hey, you know what, Lori? I think I had a yellow over there. I don't know if this is correct or not. Because I had a yellow one there too. That would have counted in the thread.
Well, you needed a few more points, so you know.
Yeah, I don't know if this was exactly right. But my point is that wherever that thread wanders with that color, you're going to get that hex will count also. It doesn't have to connect over here to this yellow space on the outside of your board. These count towards that particular thread, so you get those points also. And then, once you complete these moment tiles on your board and flip them over and you complete that pattern, there's a scoring total on there. You put those in a stack by the side of your board, and hopefully your acquisition tile, what's that called? Acquisition? Aspiration. This is an aspiration tile each person gets, and it has one particular color on it. And there's 3 different ways you can score that aspiration tile. And so you're thinking about that also in the game. And I'm telling you what, wow, this game really, I mean, we were like 10 or 15 minutes into the game, and I looked at Laura, I was like, this game is hard. And I did not expect that. I watched, I think, Rado do a run-through of it, and he said, oh, it's an Azul killer. It is not. Azul is going to be insanely popular, always will be.
Because it's easy.
Because it's easy, which is nothing wrong with that. We love that. We love Azul. We have Azul Summer Pavilion, so we love Azul.
I would never introduce this game to a non-gamer.
Yeah, we love us some Azul. But this game will not kill Azul because it's nothing like it. It's so much more difficult. And please know that going in. Now, that being said, we loved it, didn't we?
Yes. It's not difficult to play, but it hurts your head trying to figure out how to do that.
How to score.
You obviously figured out way better than I did. But
it's so difficult to do well. Let's put it that way.
There you go.
It's so difficult. You have to think so hard to do your best in this game. And I like games like that. And it's beautiful on the table. It looks gorgeous. As you can see, our player boards, it's so cool. And just, wow. I mean, I did not expect that kind of difficulty in this game. I think Board Game Geek, Lori said, had a 2.94. Yeah, it's all of that and more. You know, for an abstract strategy game, that's a pretty complex rating, man.
And it's also got a 6.6. So
yeah, it's got a 6.6 with a joke. This is an outstanding design.
I didn't read.
Rest assured, if you like a crunchy, tough puzzle in an abstract strategy game, this will provide that for you. This is your gravy, man. This is a game you're going to love, and we do love it. We're going to go. We got to go run some errands right now. When we come back, I'm going to play it again. But you know, I got to hide everything because these kittens that we have. But man, that was just a great game. I don't know any other way to say it. This is a great board game. I'm pleasantly surprised. I didn't know what to expect. The reviews that I saw on YouTube were mixed, But take my word for it, this is an outstanding board game designed by these guys. Man, they're good. And this is just...
It'll hurt your head.
Yeah.
You got to be prepared for it to hurt your head.
You're going to be, ouch. You'll be like, okay. And I mean, I got froze up a couple of times.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to think of the action on the front of your moment tile that you've taken from the moment line. And how can I make that work? Because this says sacrifice a purple to get a green and a yellow. Well, that just sounds easy, doesn't it? But you're going to sacrifice the purple out of one hex, and that green and yellow have to go in the same hex. So to score this, you need a green, yellow, and a purple, the very thing you had to sacrifice out of that hex to make the scoring opportunity when you flip it over. So it's gone. And you're like, holy crap. I mean, how am I going to get that back? I mean, how am I going to make that work? Well, of course, you're going to have to do the rewire action, take one tile instead of taking 2 and 3, and maybe you can move some tiles around to make that scoring opportunity happen, because it's going to block an action on your memory board until you score it. Then you can take it off of there and get your action back. And these things help too. These, I don't know, core memories actions, I guess they're called, or I think this is core memories on the outside. I can't remember. They got some, all this memory terminology.
That's your memory bank.
Memory bank. That's right, memory bank. Then core memory is the
core memory is those ones at those clusters. Those are core memory slots.
Oh, these things here?
Those slots are called core memory.
Core memories, yes.
Yes, those are core memories.
And you almost have to score one of those 18 pointers. There's 3 of them on here.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess, I shouldn't say, maybe with more plays we're going to be able to score more of those 18 pointers, but I scored 1. Yeah. Lori didn't get any completed. And I think that's a must as you're thinking your way through this puzzle, to be able to do 1. And if you do 2 of them, man, you're really going to do well.
Well, and if you can get that 18 in the second round, you score it again in the third round.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
and then on your aspiration tile, which is tailored for you only, this gift is for you only, just like the Newlywed Game. You have 3 different ways you can score your color. One of them is how many of that particular color are in these hexes on your player board. The other is how many are in your core memory on the outside scoring points on your player board. And the one in the middle is how many of these moment tiles that you scored has your color on it. So when you're taking and looking at the actions on these moment tiles, you're asking yourself, hey, like my color was blue. See, I got blue. So I was looking at those going, oh, I mean, there's no blue on that tile. I don't want that tile, but I need that
fragment.
That fragment. I need that fragment, but I don't want that tile. So I might just take 1 or 2 and leave something behind, so I don't have to take a tile, because the person that empties the tile has to take it. And so those are the kind of crunchy decisions that hurt your brain in here. And man, I mean, I got nothing but good player tokens of paper airplane. That's pretty sweet. It's plastic or rosin or whatever. That's pretty cool. I didn't point that out. But yeah, I mean, just a wonderful game. Wow, did we get lucky with this one, picking up blindly. And I say blindly, I mean 50% blind. Again, we love those guys, these designers. These guys are hard workers. They worked hard on Vivid Memories, and it shows in the gameplay. Everything flows very nicely, even though it's so difficult to think your way through it. And if you don't like that kind of difficult puzzle, then yeah, just avoid this. But this is not Azul, okay? It's not an Azul killer. It is its own animal, and an animal it is. It's a monster, and thinking your way through this and doing well in it is really tricky. But it's a lovely game, and it's a lovely time, and again, Lori and I had a bunch of fun playing it, and we were just like, the whole time we're playing it, after we got about 3/4 of the way, we were like, oh my gosh, my head's hurting. I can't do what I wanted to do. I was planning to do this, and it's not going to happen, because you just can't move tiles enough in this. It's not one of those loosey-goosey games where you have mitigation powers over the things that are happening. You have to place those tiles in empty hexes, and then hopefully you can move them with a rewire. And so you have to be oh so careful about where you put them. And that is the crux of this game. And it's just a lot of fun. And yeah, I guess that's about all I can say about it. Yeah, 2022, 2 to 4 players.
Oh, but it had a solo on the...
Oh yeah, I want to tell you, and it says 2 to 4 players on the box, but on the back of the rule booklet here, it says solo play rules, and it has a QR thing. So it says, can you score more than the Automa? An automated player will collect fragments using ever-changing preferences. Try to beat their score. Find the rules here. So I guess you could play this solo if you pick this game up. That's it for Vivid Memories. I think you'll like it. If you like games like Azul, and we have Summer Pavilion. I told her it reminds me of Summer Pavilion. It's just a lot more strict, I think. But still, it's just a step up from that. I love Summer Pavilion, and I love this too.
The art's nice too. It's Andrew Bosley's art.
Oh yeah, thank you. Yeah, Andrew Bosley did the art in this game, which I love. I mean, Andrew Bosley did the art in Tungaro Deluxe that I have over there. He did the art in Merchants of the Dark Road that I have sitting over there, which is gorgeous. But man, this game is so much fun, you guys. You get a whole bunch of these moment tiles with the game, I mean, just, yeah, it's one of those games. It may take you a play or two to fall in love with it, but you will. If you like a tough, crunchy puzzle, you're going to fall in love with this game. And my cat Biscuits loves it so much she fell asleep in the lid. Is she on the screen?
No, I can turn her there. Now she is.
Yes, she is. Yes, she loves, our cats love game boxes, but as if they get, and they're just 5 months old. If they get a little bigger, we're going to have to stop this because I don't want to split my lids. They love the game boxes. Hey, I love every one of you guys. Thanks for watching the Old Bones Collector. But hey, keep on board gaming, you guys. You know why? Because it's the best hobby on the planet because of games like Vivid Memories from Matthew Dunstan and Brett J. Gilbert. Thank you very much. See you next time on the Bones Collector. Bye-bye. Okay, everybody, that was a couple of games out of our library that we wanted to share with you. And thank you for those comments, and please keep them coming. We'll try to get back to you as often as we possibly can. I love every one of you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll try to get them out as soon as possible. Bye-bye.